Here for our morning Dragon Age Inquisition live stream. We're gonna go slay the dragon and then head to Crestwood and promptly walk our way through all the quests in that area. This is the third time I've tried to start this stream in the last 10 minutes. Every time it just keeps crashing. Now that everybody has full focus, potions, and Sarah has her new ridiculously good bow, we should kill this dragon. The damage output we have alone that's different should make the difference from what was missing the last time. Alright, so you guys, I really needed you all to be closer. There we go. We gotta keep our eyes out on the ground. Alright, here it is. Here it is. Alright, so I fade cloak. Sarah evades this way. This is gotta be the pattern when this stuff happens. Alright. I fade cloaked too early. But that's fine, we can deal with that next time. Look at that decent damage. We already have the armor halfway down. We just crit for 1400 with our freaking frost. Here it is. Alright. Sarah, evade out. You fade cloak, you fade cloak. Awesome. I think everyone got out. Hear that, or the shields just made it so it didn't matter, which I'm also fine with. Get our mana back up here. 1 second. Alright, that was fine. I saw that coming. That's what I get for using Blizzard and draining myself of my mana. I also increased someone's armor pen here by a bunch. I don't remember whose, but I do remember doing it. Alright, we want to save up a little bit here. Get the frost blast. Alright. Alright, here we go. Switch back to me. Yeah, the only one hit was Blackwall. We're gonna bury her up. I'm gonna go in and we're gonna cut him up. Awesome, this is going well, and the stream has not crashed, so I haven't had to reload the fight like I've had every other time I've tried. Which is painfully obnoxious, by the way. But, yeah, some big news. Pokemon Go is officially out in my country. So I have, been doing a little going of the pokes. Which is fun. It is, however, like the worst time of the year for me because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a natural scent I have or something, but I attract like all of the mosquitoes, like more than a regular person. At least in my experience. A person might get bit, 2 or 3 times, whereas I will get bit 10 to 30. It's just the way it's always been. Oh, alright. Where are you, Sarah? Evade this way. You do this. You keep running. Yeah. Alright, good. There we go. That was really good. Need to start using those grenades I went out of my way to get. Oh yeah, we still have 9 potions. We should be fine. Fucking people taunt the babies, please. Alright, people, we need to get closer. Oh, it's down. Alright, I'm popping it. We need to hit it with this. We need to hit it with this. And this. Oh, my phone just went off. I wonder what. We want to do this, and we want to have Blackwell taunt these. Oh, we killed the dragon! No, did we? No. We did. Holy shit, what happened? I guess somehow using Sarah's ultimate when the dragon had a certain percentage of health, just like instantly killed it. Well, we just killed a dragon that was like 2 levels higher than us, and it's still probably going to be easier than slaying that goddamn dragon. On the Storm Coast, honestly. That is a very good helmet. Superior guard belt. That's very good. That is crazy good if we ever choose to use coal again. And that is alright. We can definitely make that better because it has the little parts on it. Only 2 dragon's teeth though. You think you'd get more out of a whole dragon. We're definitely going to look about changing our shit around. Oh yeah. I mean, we have to change the color, but I have my pimp jacket back. No. Yes. You need a belt. Yes. Alright. That's everything for all of us. I like it. Part of the jacket for some reason doesn't go in Viz. Alright. That's weird, but okay. We are saving it right the facility, like right now. We did level up through the murder. We're gonna upgrade Winter's Chill for AoE. This will be useful. I don't particularly want to loot these things, but I will pick up the Silverite. Those are just Dragonlings, and all the Dragonling materials are all Tier 1. And Tier 1 materials are just kind of shit. Like, I mean, we don't need them. We're too good. Too far along. Alright, we need to go secure the third tower and close that rift. We had 7 potions left, by the way. So yeah, it was really just we were going into the fight with no potions, no grenades, and without any focus. That was the only thing holding us back. Because we just creamed that. We didn't even use Blackwall or Vivienne's focus. We never needed the healing, and we never needed him to taunt everything. And set up the Counter-Strike. Though, Counter-Strike probably still would have been useful at one point. When Vivienne and Sarah were getting focused by the Dragonlings. At that point, we probably should have used it. But we didn't need to, so I didn't. I very rarely do this. I tweeted. I don't really use Twitter. I don't really like Twitter as a medium. Like, I get it's the thing that people use to communicate. I don't enjoy it. I don't like Twitter. It's just flat up, that's the thing. I just don't like it. But one of my favorite sort of people, celebrity people in the world, is on Twitter often. So I do go to Twitter, I do have a Twitter account, and I do check it, you know, every other day to see if she has made any sort of post. And this person who I absolutely adore, they're amazing, talented, beautiful, funny, a published writer now. I mean, they have a lot of things going in their life that I'm hoping to one day have going in my life. And it's just, they're an awesome person. It's Mara Wilson, who was a child actress who was Matilda. She was Matilda. She was the youngest child in the Robin Williams movie Mrs. Doubtfire. Like, Matilda was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Like, I love that movie. We've watched it hundreds of times. It's just a blast, because I was that bookworm kid who, you know, his parents didn't really read, you know, but he always had a book in his hands, even though the people around him were more interested in going to bingo and playing darts and whatnot. I really associated myself with the character, and I liked it, which is fun. Oh, jeez, you are alive. Okay. And Matilda was just put on Netflix. I found that out after I'd just finished watching The Force Awakens on Netflix the other day, and I did one of the few rare things I do, where I sent out a tweet about how excited I was that my nostalgia for the weekend was flavored by Matilda, and I, of course, added Mara into her account because, well, I was talking about her. I mean, I was saying it, you know, like, I was thanking her for basically being the nostalgia of the weekend for me. And she liked it. Which, I mean, probably doesn't mean anything. She might even have some sort of program running that likes any post that adds her, though I doubt it, given her personality. I just, you know, I was like, oh, sweet, she liked it. That's cool. It's like, I can't sing very well, but I do love to sing. And I have, on occasion, just, you know, Instagram, which I use a bit more than Twitter, videos of myself singing some of my favorite songs. Just, you know, whenever I'm singing them. And I'll always take the band in it. And I love anytime I'm doing that and a member of the band likes the video. And it's not like some official band page, it's the member of the band liking the video. Anytime that happens, I just get super excited. Which might be really dumb because they might just, be on social media or even have someone doing that for them. But I mean, it's super cool to me. Like, hey, I really like your thing. And they're like, hey, I like that you like that thing. It's just, I enjoy interacting with people who I respect for the things they create. It's just a really cool thing to me, and it's not something I get to do often. So immediately after the Mara Wilson tweet, I was watching the movie, like, as I was tweeting. The part of the movie, which is, like, immediate in the movie, came on, where it was, the Send Me On My Way segment, like, little in-movie music video, which is a song done by a band called Rusted Root. I have always loved this song, as most people have, though many of them do not know the name. I have asked many people, like, do you recognize this song? Like, have you heard of Rusted Root? And they'll say no, and I'll sing the part of the song that's used in, like, every commercial ever. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I love that song, it's super catchy. And I mean, I've heard that all over the place in all sorts of movies. And I'm like, that's Rusted Root. I mean, if you hear this song in a bunch of movies and you're like, man, that's catchy, it makes me feel good, it's very uplifting, I'm like, did you never think to just Google the lyrics and see if you could find the full song or who did it? And they're like, no, not really. And I'm like, why? If you like something, why don't you learn more about it? Why don't you dedicate a little bit of that brain space that you're using on freaking social media and drama and just living your life towards something you enjoy? I don't know. People are weird. But I love Rusted Root. I've always loved Rusted Root. This Send Me On My Way is probably one of my favorite songs. No matter what mood I'm in, it instantly makes me 20-30% happier. Easily. So I just made a tweet, just a cute little funny tweet. It's not like I have many followers. At Rusted Root, and the band's Twitter account liked the post, which that is probably more likely run by a social media PR person instead of the actual band. Like, that one I'd understand. I don't think Mara Wilson would have that, just because I don't think Mara Wilson does that. I think she just likes being that connected to her audience. I don't know. Who can say? Rusted Root might like that too. I'm just making an assumption, which isn't something I should do. But since I didn't, it wasn't like one of the band members' like personal account. It was just the band's account, right? Like that's where you're like, yeah, it's probably someone just, hey, someone mentioned the band, like, so that if people come here, they'll see that people are talking about us, which is cool. I mean, I get it. I like it. I like the band. More power to them. But I know bands that don't do that. They don't use the band page to like. They'll like it with their personal accounts. Like, on Instagram, one of my favorite bands right now, and I say right now because, again, my tastes change. I very rarely stop liking a band. I don't think that's ever happened. But sometimes I get into a, like, people might say a rut, but that has a negative connotation. I might get into it where I find a band that I like so passionately that I listen to, like, them exclusively for a while. Like, I still listen to other music, but I mean, I will listen to their songs on repeat. Part of my playlist on YouTube will be a bunch of their songs in a row, and when I get through that part of my playlist, I'll sometimes just go back to the start and play through it again. And the band that I've been doing that most recently is a band called Jacoby, which is an Australian band, I believe. It says Melbourne, and I believe Melbourne is Australian. If it's actually New Zealand and I'm wrong, I hope I'm not offending anyone. I really like Jakubi. Jakubi just makes me smile. Their songs have never failed to lift me up. Really. It's just that simple. Anytime I'm listening to Jakubi, I just get immediately happy. And one of the best things I've ever heard from them is a song called Couch Potato. I believe it's their newest single. Because I believe I was just on their website the other day, actually. And it's a great song. I can't believe it's not on the radio here. Like, it's just that kind of catchy summer tune, and I'm just like, how is this not just absolutely controlling, like, the freaking summer market? Because, I mean, like, last year the summer song was, like, Riptide. I couldn't get in a car in, like, the summer and fall months without hearing Riptide on the radio at least twice in a 30-minute drive. And no offense to Riptide, it's a catchy song. I don't dislike it, but Couch Potato's way better, in my opinion. And I'm not some sort of music critic. My opinion is completely uneducated. It's simply a matter of I like what I like. But I mean, it's just Couch Potato is so good. Holiday is good. Can't Afford It All is great. And now, the messaging Can't Afford It All I have a bit of an issue with because, it's a little disparaging to someone who has a stable job but might not be as physically attractive as others, and that's sort of a little awful. Just because there's no reason to view someone who has a stable income as lesser because they're not as attractive, and the fact that they have a stable income is attractive to a woman. Because stability is super important, especially if someone's trying to start a family. You can go with the delicious I Meat Candy Boy, or you can go with someone who will keep your family fed. Or at least be able to assist doing that. We need to go, like, that way, to that tower, without dying, and I have no way how to get there. I want to finish this area before we move on to Crestwood. I guess I might as well, right? But no, I absolutely love Jakubi, and I sang on Instagram one of my favorite lines from my favorite song of theirs, which is Couch Potato. And the band's page liked it, but so this was like after like the bassist and one of the keyboardists from the band had already personally liked it. And I was like, that's way cooler to me than, a band's social media page liking what you've done. Because again, normally with any sort of business, I would assume they have some sort of social media person. Like, there are social media positions within the company, and they have people who it's their job to respond, and build up the social presence of whatever company they're with, which is totally fine and legitimate. I have no problem with it. But if that replies to you, it's a little less cool than the band replying to you, Because this isn't someone who's the talent of this thing. It's not the singer in control of that account. It's the person they've hired who does it for the band, probably out of a love for the band. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure the person who does that needs to love what they're doing in order to be good at it. Well, I'd like to think so, at least. I could be wrong, but I mean, I'd like to think that if someone's going to dedicate their job to something, they're going to enjoy it. And I've always thought it was really cool when a band, like, member like that likes a fan singing one of their songs. I just think that's cool. Yeah. That was a bit of a tangent to get on from talking about watching Matilda over the weekend. I watched Matilda and I watched The Force Awakens. And you know what? A lot of people hate on The Force Awakens. Guess what? I feel most of their hate is completely unfounded. It's by far the best Star Wars movie in the last 20 years. Now, that basically just includes the prequels. Which is fine. People complain. Like, let's get into this. Now, I actually have another channel where I was supposed to use it to just talk and ramble and do discussions and all that crap. But since we're here and I'm talking, I'ma keep talking. So a big complaint that people have.
Word for you.
Now they don't say. A lot of people say it's not a bad thing. It's just annoying, which I can appreciate. One second. I got eaten alive this weekend playing Pokemon Go. Where was I? Yes, okay. Alright, yes, the complaint about Star Wars Force Awakens, sorry. I, had a bitch of an itch, and it just completely took all thought out of my head. Yeah. So, the primary issue people seem to have is that a lot of The Force Awakens is a very similar plot and style and delivery as A New Hope. And they're just like, oh, it's just A New Hope with new characters I don't love as much as the originals and yada yada yada. And I'm like, alright. Let's real talk. Let's have a real conversation here. Alright. Well, first let's I'm not gonna deny it. There are extreme similarities between The Force Awakens and A New Hope. There are many differences. Alright? We can't just say they're the same movie, they're not. First and foremost. Alright? Let's just be open with that. Now, let's look at the reason that the people writing the script and directing the film might have made the maybe even subconscious choice to do this, because I believe it was a choice, whether subconscious or conscious, I don't know, because I'm not them, I'm not in their mind, right? Like, you can't really know another person's thought process unless they explain it to you verbatim, right? But the reason we're killing those snooflers, by the way, is that each one of their things is worth like 15 gold, and apparently it's the fastest way to farm gold in this game. Alright, so the reason I personally feel that the similarities between A New Hope can be drawn with The Force Awakens, and I think that they were on purpose. It was not some sort of accidental thing, or it was just a writer being lazy. I think it was 100% intentional. I believe it was totally masterminded and was a part of what they were trying to do. Alright, so let's think about it. Star Wars Episode 4 comes out. New Hope. People love it. Empire comes out. It's amazing. Probably the best Star Wars film to date. I would argue that Empire is probably still the best of the Star Wars movies. Though The Force Awakens, in my opinion, is a very close second. So then Return of the Jedi comes out. It's not as well received as Empire, but people accept it as an ending to the series. but it does a lot of random nonsensical crap and just garbage that everyone's like, it really didn't need any of this, or this. Which is alright, because that happens sometimes. Alright, so you have the original trilogy, people love it, Star Wars is good. Then the prequels happen, and they try to go completely a different direction. They try to focus on the world building and expanding the universe to show you the history of characters, why they are the way they are, the reason why the original trilogies happened the way that they did, the reason why the characters are in the position they are, why Darth Vader is the way it is, what corrupted him to the dark side, how he became Darth Vader from Anakin Skywalker, why Obi-Wan was living in... Oh, Jesus, that's a big bear. Why Obi-Wan was living in exile, basically, on Tatooine, why Yoda, this supposed Jedi Master, was living on his own in Dagobah and seems so eclectic and crazy. Like, they're basically 3 movies to set up 3 movies that have already happened. And that's already going to get you into a position where you care less. Alright, the reason being is because, one, the prequels. The characters we know in there, that we know from the original series, are guaranteed not to die. There's no real tenseness about it, because just like whenever the X-Men do Days of Future Past, and then do something like set in between the time after Days of Future Past and then the time of the original series, you know the characters live to be older, right? So there's no drama, there's no fear, there's no anticipation. It robs the movie of something the movie should have instantly, which is annoying. I get it. I understand what's causing it. So, we basically have 2 trilogies of Star Wars. We have the originals, and we have the prequels. So, the prequels happened, and they tried something completely new, and it bombed. People hated it. It's literally a mockery. Like, people literally treat the prequels like garbage. People refuse to watch them. People only watch them as a joke. And people... And they're taking The Force Awakens very seriously. They don't want it to be seen as a joke, because this is going to define Star Wars for a great many people. Like, when you think about it, you know, people who are the age to start really falling in love with Star Wars, 14-year-olds, 10-year-olds, that sort of young adult or young teenager, preteen sort of person who should grow up to be the sci-fi lover that we all grew up being because of Star Wars, they don't have a Star Wars movie that's theirs. The prequels came out before their time when they were too young to appreciate what they were trying to do. Plus, they didn't have the original series in their life to go... that the prequels would be setting up. If you just watch the prequels on their own with no knowledge of the original series, those movies are dull. Like, the whole reason you watch it with any modicum of enjoyment is because you know this is just setting up what's coming up in the original series. It's because you're getting a payoff from it that way. But people in that age group just won't have that. So when you're trying to make Star Wars that, one, is accurate to the understanding of the events that happened in the original series, 2, captures the nostalgia of the people in the 20 to 40 bracket who were in love with the original Star Wars series and possibly didn't enjoy the prequels as much, while at the same time creating a story that's current, modern, and fast-paced enough with enough of that 2016 flavor to catch a modern day audience who this is going to be their first Star Wars movie for them. Alright, now, they've already done this once at a different time. When A New Hope came out, it was the first Star Wars experience for many people, and it was amazing. They captured the essence of what people wanted out of sci-fi at that time, which is great. But you have to understand that this is a whole, like, that's the goal still. The goal is to recapture the response to A New Hope in The Force Awakens with the same age group just 30 years later, or 40 years later maybe. I don't know when A New Hope aired. I believe it was the early 70s. And if so, then it would be 40 some years later. So that's the point, right? And I can understand why they would make a movie very similar in terms of story to A New Hope, because A New Hope worked. So if you take the bare bones skeleton of A New Hope, change the characters around, make the dialogue a little bit more modern, create characters that people today will relate with and be able to understand their relationships with a little bit better, and then add in that more current dialogue, a little bit more action, because let's be honest, the original trilogy doesn't really have any cinematic action. It has a lot of character-driven drama, which I would argue The Force Awakens easily does. I mean, if you can watch the lighting in the scene where Kylo Ren and Han Solo are talking to each other on the bridge, if you can look at the lighting of that scene and look at me and say, yeah, no, there's no drama in this, I know what's going to happen, and still not see, like, the lighting and just how beautiful it is, and how Kylo's face is always half in the light, half in the darkness, and Han Solo's face is always completely in the light, up until that last moment when the darkness just completely covers his face and you know what's about to happen. That scene is amazingly tense. Like, that scene is amazing. Alright? I mean, I don't care what you're talking about. They managed to, through lighting and dialogue, create a super tense, hold your breath moment without ever needing to literally beat us about the head and face and have Kylo go on this rant how he's fallen to the dark now and this is what he was always meant to be and the dark is better. It isn't. It's someone who's struggling. He wants to do something and he doesn't know if he has the strength to. And it might not be the thing that his father wants him to do. But Han's there for him. And the moment is beautiful, and the lighting sets up the battle with the light and the darkness inside of Kylo. And it's a great scene. It's a great scene. Right? And I've heard so many people complain about that scene, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Right? So, that's a great scene. Like, The Force Awakens succeeds in making a movie that people today will be able to get the same sort of drama and excitement out of as we all did the first time we watched A New Hope. And again, the reason I feel that they kept it very similar to A New Hope is because it worked in the past. And I honestly believe that the director, the writers, the screenwriters were probably a little afraid that if they tried to do anything too original or they tried to focus too much on world building, that they were going to fall into the trap of the prequels and their movie was going to bomb. So, what they did is they just followed something that worked before. It's completely different. Like, they are two different stories. Yes, the Star Killer base is just a bigger and stronger Death Star. I get it. Yes, a pilot who's probably Force sensitive and slightly better than all the other pilots does a thing that none of the other pilots could do at the last moment to blow the star up after the group goes in and removes some shields. Yeah, alright, I get it. There are similarities. Yes, the first part of the story is set on a desert planet called Jakku, which is very similar to Tatooine. I understand that. But the characters are very different. And it's just great. I mean, Rey doesn't have an Obi-Wan Kenobi showing her the ways of the Force. No, instead, when she realizes her connection with the Force, which she realizes while Ren is trying to, mind rape her, when she realizes her connection to the Force and starts using it, she realizes she can use it, right? And then the next parts of the movie are her very slowly and gradually teaching herself about the Force, which is amazing. Like, that part of the movie is amazing. It's stupendous. At no point does Luke ever really do that. Even in the part where he manages to force the torpedoes down the goddamn ventilation shaft into space, or whatever the crap it is, he doesn't do it alone. Obi-Wan is there talking to him in that scene, telling him you need to use the Force in order to make this happen. The machine can't do it. You have to use the Force. And it's just like, there isn't an Obi-Wan in Rey's ear telling her, use the Jedi mind trick on the Daniel Craig Stormtrooper. I've heard that people with the Force can manipulate the minds of the weaker. I'm going to try and use this to get out of my situation. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. And she fails the first time she does it, and then she gets it through again. And it's great. Like, the movies are very different. Like, Luke on Tatooine had a loving family. He had an uncle and aunt who had their own kids. I believe, probably, at some point. Though I don't think we ever see them in the movie. Maybe not. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe Beru was barren? I don't remember. But he had a family. Rey, alternatively, lived on her own and was a scavenger from, like, a child, living in the wreckage of an AT-AT. And do you want to know something about Rey? She's not a whiny little brat. Guess what? Luke, just like his goddamn father, he spends the whole first part of that movie complaining that, the life he's been graciously given by his aunt and uncle isn't the life he wants, and why won't they let him be him and go off and join the frickin' pilot school, which would make him an Imperial, because I doubt the rebels have schools that you could go to. Like,
where does this lead?
He's rebelling against these people who've done nothing but give him love, and he's complaining about them and whining and why do I have to take care of the droids? And oh no, the droid got away. I need to get that, or Uncle Beru's, or Uncle whatever the hell his name was, is going to be mad at me. And wah wah wah. And then you have Rey, who silently is, like, in the bellies of an Imperial Star Destroyer, just trying to get enough scrap to eat. And when she gets shafted on the price, just takes it anyways. Because, shit, what the hell could she do to make him do it more? Like, her complaining isn't going to get anything done.
Let's find that fade rift.
Right? Like, they're very different characters with very different backgrounds. And I think Rey is a better person than Luke was. Like, when Luke's with Obi-Wan and they reveal the stormtroopers are probably sent, like, on their way home, yeah, Luke rushes home and finds his aunt and uncle dead. But, so what? He doesn't really seem heartbroken. He seems upset. But, you know, then he's basically like, there's nothing for me here now. I mean, I guess now I can leave without, you know, going against their wishes because they're dead. And there's no reason for me to stay here with them dead. So I might as well leave. Right? Like, it's just, and yet you have Rey. And Rey is amazing. Like, Rey gets offered a ridiculous amount of food for BB-8. And at the start, you see her sort of like, I've never seen so much food at once in my life. And her hands sort of reach towards it. And it's amazing. Like, the look on her face is just like, oh my god. I could literally be not hungry for a while. But then she remembers BB-8. And she realizes the droid trusted her. And she puts that relationship over her own happiness immediately. And turns down the food. Which is great. It's a good little view of her character. Right? Like, that's not something I think Luke would have done. Like, had C-3PO, like, had someone come up and offered to trade him a ship for one of his droids before he discovered the message to Princess Leia, I can guarantee you he probably would do it. Especially if it was the astromech droid and not C-3PO, who they were using for, like, translations or something to communicate with one of their machines. Right? Like, he would have done it in a heartbeat and gotten the fuck out of there. I don't think Luke was a very good person. I mean, he might eventually grow to become one. And another thing, I think that because I'm just going to keep ranting about Star Wars today, apparently, I feel like in the first Star Wars trilogy, we were supposed to be the people who were feeling the sense of awe and wonder.
There's dwarven ruins down here.
I think that's the case. But that wouldn't really work in a 2016 or 2015 setting. Because in today's modern world, we want to feel a connection to the movie we're watching. We don't want to just feel it ourselves. We want to relate to the people on the screen who feel it. What I'm trying to say is, like, the emotions that are being triggered by the movie can't just be on our end. There needs to be someone in the movie that we can relate to who becomes a vassal for the audience. I believe that's something very true about modern day viewing audiences, the younger crowd. And we have that. Like, the awe and the amazement isn't just on our end. It's on Rey's as well, and Finn's. Like, when they go to that green planet, and you see the look on Rey's face, and she's like, I didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy. Like, I've never seen so much of this color. This is amazing. You're supposed to feel as awe-inspired as she is, I believe. And it's a great moment, and you realize it's a great moment because of the way Han looks at her. That response triggers Han's reaction to be like, this is someone who would love the world, like the universe, and who's only seen a very small part of it. And it's like, we're on that trip too. We are awe-inspired in that moment, and I love that. And I think that's something that the Star Wars The Force Awakens does really well. no, don't be wrong. There's a few moments where I think it's more like the original trilogy that I'd like. Right? Like, but those are mostly callbacks, which is basically just saying, yeah, the original trilogy did this too. Remember that? Hey, it's an in-joke. Like, one of those moments was in the original trilogy when they were talking about the weakness of the Death Star, right? And everyone was like, man, that's going to be really hard to do. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. And then this little farm boy, like a moisture farm boy from a backwater, ends in the Empire desert planet, goes, oh no, that's nothing. I do stuff like that all the time back home. I mean, there are these little creatures we used to kill for fun that are about that size, and you can hit them with the speeder, and sure, we're probably moving a little bit faster in space, but not that fast. And I'm just like, why is Luke like that in that scene, alright? Like, let's think about that. This is someone who's never seen anything besides his little desert shit home that he's complained about. And he's finally out there in the wild, and he's freaking fighting with the rebellion. He's a Jedi in training. There's a Death Star that blew up a planet. Shit is hitting the literal fan. Like, everything is crazy. And his first reaction to hearing that they need to do this, like, thing that everyone around him who is from space and who is seeing more than he could possibly know even exists. These people who are around him are saying that this isn't something that they can do. His reaction isn't to be, wow, this is going to be hard, or holy shit, they make things this big, or man, it's just like, oh yeah, we fucking do this all the time. This is everyday work. And it's just like, what? It's just like, this is business as usual. Luke feels to have a very severe lack of awe. And I feel that with a modern day audience, that wouldn't work. His character seems too blasé with what is happening to him. No, don't get me wrong, he has his moments, a few of them, especially in like the cantina on Mos Eisley. But even then, he's still on the same planet. It just... And he doesn't have it for very long. It's really more just he's seen a bunch of alien races that he hasn't seen before. I don't know. I think that the original trilogy lacks a sense of wonder. It lacks someone in the show, like in the actual film, who is feeling the wonder the audience is supposed to be feeling. And I think that we have it great with Finn and Rey. And a little bit with Poe. I don't think so much with Poe. I think Poe is very world-weary. He's not someone who's going to go around looking all starstruck and everything. Because he's the ace pilot, Han Solo kind of character who's like world-traveled and just super intelligent. Which is fine. There's a character like that in the original series too. His name's Han Solo. I like Han. If Poe becomes as near a likable character as Han Solo was in the original series, I'm going to enjoy him much more. Hopefully he gets more screen time in the next episode while Finn recovers. Assuming we don't just time skip far enough ahead that Finn is already recovered. Because we have to remember in the original series, they were time skipping like a lot in between our episodes. Like years at times had passed in between episodes. And it's all covered in the scrolling text. So, I really like the new Star Wars. And I think the direction it's going is correct. I think it's going to do very well with a modern audience. And I think there's going to be enough nostalgia to capture the older audiences. And I think the people who are complaining about it are just refusing to have a good time on the premise that what is new isn't what they know from the past. And I'm not cool with that. Also, as I said earlier, way back in the video, is the rain to stop. Normally I do this right away, But since we didn't, and we just rushed to Stroud and the dragon, normally you would fight the dragon here in the sun, but we fought it in the rain. Back to Star Wars, because how dare I interrupt my Star Wars talk. Another huge complaint is Rey. That people think Rey is a Mary Sue character. Alright. Did I not just mention that when placed in a position where professional pilots and soldiers are saying that something is impossible to do, that they couldn't imagine having the skill, the talent, and the accuracy to do what they're describing, that Luke Skywalker goes, oh yeah, I do that shit all the time on my killing a creature that no one has ever seen in Star Wars on my speeder back home all the time. And it's just like, oh, alright, shit, this guy can do this. That means it must be done. Must be something that can be done. Like, did anyone forget that happened? That when someone was like, hey, you know what? Bam! This thing is going to be too hard to do. I don't know if anyone can physically do this. And then the lead of the series goes, oh yeah, I can totally do this. Rey never does that. Like, you have to understand, Rey is always like, shit, I mean, I know some things, I can try, and I'm gonna do my best. Oh, that's cool. Ugh. But, Luke was always just like, shit, yeah, I can do that. I do that stuff all the time with this creature no one's ever seen or heard of. That happens to be the right size and shape of the thing we're trying to do. It's like, who's the real Mary Sue? Who just has their powers because they need to have them at any given moment? I think it's Luke. I think Luke is way more of a Mary Sue than Rey is at all. Any ability Rey has is easily defined and dealt with in the movie. Why is she a decent pilot with the Millennium Falcon? Because she's a decent pilot. Like, she spends all of her time in old ships, like, going over the technology in those old ships, figuring out how it works, how to get the parts out of them, like, and the Millennium Falcon is an old ship. Like, it was an old ship in the original series, remember? It's an old rust bucket. So the fact that she spends all of her time with old ships, she has flown ships, but she's never flown, yes, into space. Alright, give her that. She clearly is a knowledgeable pilot. And then there's the fact that, as we've already heard from her, she like, and we've seen it. It's not just hearing it, it's seeing it. We've seen her literally spend all of her time inside old tech and figuring out how it works and what parts she can use for scrap and remove, and like, that's the difference between Rey and Luke. Yes, they're the main character in a Star Wars movie. Things are going to go their way. Coincidence and happenstance are going to happen to meet the needs of the script, as well, you know, the Force assisting them naturally, because again, they're both extremely powerful Force users, from my understanding. Because she freaking mind pushed back on Kylo Ren, who's supposed to be like, you know, the Sith apprentice, without any training, just by seeing what he was doing to her and fighting back, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, the Force creates a Mary Sue of a character. Like, that's kind of what it does. It's kind of its purpose. It's to make a character connected to the universe as a whole so that things will go their way. But, I mean, when you have a series where many people can have this, I don't think I don't think it makes them a Mary Sue character. Alright, so there's that. Alright, so we've answered why she can pilot the Falcon, why she's so good with machines. It's because she's literally spent her entire life living in them and fiddling with them and figuring out how to make things work and how to break things down. And she's just got the mind of an engineer. She tackles everything like a problem that needs to be solved, and she has the intelligence and the know-with-all to get it done. So I I won't accept her as a Mary Sue just because of that. And then we have to deal with the other people who complain about the movie because she's a woman. Listen, I have so many sexist assholes in my life, alright? Like, not to swear when I don't feel like it's okay, but, like, do you know how many people I have to deal with, including close friends, who, yes, of course, you know, the correct response would be, well, if there are people who believe this, why are they your friends? Because on a whole, they're good people, and they just have things that I'm actively trying to break them of and to show them the right way of thinking. Well, at least what I feel is the right way of thinking. But, like, one of my dear friends looks at, you know, Rogue One having a female lead, Star Wars The Force Awakens having a female lead, and he literally just goes, yeah, I mean, it could be good, but she's a Mary Sue, and she's a woman simply because, yay, feminism. And if we don't have female leads, women are just going to whine and complain to the point where they're just ruining all of our films. And every lead in movies now have to be women, and they have to be stronger than everyone else. Because if they don't, then they're being sexist and rude, and the fucking women are just going to throw a hissy fit about it. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, you can't honestly believe that. Like, it's so infuriating to listen to normally intelligent people literally start going on about how, you know what, the Star Wars was bad because they made a ridiculously overpowered female character simply to sate feminism, and because equality bullshit, and how that if women don't have all the power, then it's not right, and anytime you have any sort of violence against a female character, it's rape. And how it completely robs us of any decent storytelling, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you saying to me right now? Like, come on, you're supposed to be better than this, like. But I know a lot of people who are like that. I know a lot of people who didn't like this story because of the similarities between A New Hope and the fact that Rey was a woman who basically succeeded in a lot of things that she tried. And they're just sexist bastards who just hate the fact that someone without a penis is getting screen time. Or they're homophobic people who think that the implied attraction between Finn and Poe, like the fact that Poe seems to be attracted to Finn, is wrong and in the movie, and just pandering to people. See, that's the thing, right? They think it's pandering to a demographic that isn't them. I don't agree with that. I don't believe it's pandering, and I mean, I don't. Guess what? Women exist. Fairly often, you're probably going to find women who are great with machines, women who do this, who do that, because women are fucking people, and people come in all shapes, right? Like, and whenever these are the same kind of people who, whenever a gay character is in a show or a movie, they just go, oh, they're just pandering to, you know, the gay community just to get more views. This is literally just pandering. These characters wouldn't actually be gay in real life. It's just they wanted more people to watch it and feel included in this story. Or anytime there is anything to do with like I've literally listened to intelligent people argue that all of the X-Men movies are literally just trans right movements and transhumanism, and how people who how it's okay to be someone whose body doesn't match the regular human body, how like someone can be born one thing but really be something else, and how these movies are all just pandering to that, and it's awful. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're reading way too much into the X-Men, and second of all, if they are writing it for that, then what's wrong with it? It is right, it is okay to be born different and to not have your sex and gender match, and to work to change that. Like, I mean, why the hell are you getting upset about this? These are people too, and what they're going through is awful, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone to have that sort of body dimorphism, and just I have to deal with a lot of homophobic, sexist assholes where I live, and it's.
From the mayor. It says he was the one who flooded Old Crestwood 10 years ago to stop the blight.
It's just really heartbreaking that people I would normally enjoy, or even close friends who I do enjoy the presence of, like people I consider almost as close as family,
I doubt we'd have found out.
will literally just sit there and be so ignorant and hateful about shit like that. And guess what? If you come at me with any of those arguments about why Star Wars The Force Awakens is bad, because Rey's a woman, and because that a woman should in no way have that much power, or that the only reason she's a woman is just to pander to feminists, then guess what? You've not only lost my attention, but you've probably lost a good measure of my respect, and I'm just not going to value your opinion as much as a regular person. It's just that simple. I'm going to think you're an idiot. I'm going to think that you're a sexist or homophobe, depending on which part of the movie you're saying is like this, for what reasons. And I'm not going to want to spend as much time with you. And if I do, and you start talking about it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop communicating with you. I will just sit there in absolute silence and listen to you make an ass of yourself, just silently going, this person's a fucking idiot. And I'm just not going to respect you about it. And it's that simple. And, like, I take that shit very seriously. There's no reason to be homophobic, transphobic, any of that shit. Guess what? Those people exist. And the fact that them suddenly being included in your movies and shows is not just, oh, we're just pandering to a demographic. It's, no, we're just openly admitting the fact that these people exist for the first time ever in film as something other than a joke for you to laugh at. And it's just like, how on earth could you look at that and think it's a bad thing for us to be including people in it? Like, accurate people. I don't get it. That got... Oh, Jesus, Sarah. These things are like 20 levels lower than you. Could you not die instantly? Sorry. I'm sorry in general for getting so political and off the frickin' rails with this dialogue. Thankfully, very few people watch my videos through all the way, so they probably won't have to listen to this. But, yeah, I'm just very passionate about certain things because, I mean, it's just, I have a hard time dealing with ignorance and arrogance and just people who are choosing to hate something or someone because of something uncontrollable in their life. And or to hate a thing because it includes people that they don't enjoy. And to argue that the only reason those people are included is to pander to that audience is just nonsensical.
Smell the damps. Just
sigh.
In everything.
Yeah, but no. Again, if you come at me with any sort of basis like that for a reason why The Force Awakens isn't good, I'm gonna stop you right there and tell you to go fuck yourself, because I don't give a fuck about you anymore, and it's that simple. Well, now that we got that covered, yeah, so just like to summarize, I really like The Force Awakens. I like the practical effects. I love the set pieces. I love the long swooping shots instead of the crazy over-the-top cut battles. I love the emotion and the drama. I love how they managed to make really intense moments actually feel really intense. I love the movie. It's just a good movie. I'm glad they moved away from the overt CGI bullshit of the prequels and the focus on politics from the prequels and return more to their normal roots. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be very excited to see the next episodes, and I hope they continue the trend, but I also hope that they move away from the originals, which I don't think they're going to do, honestly. Like, if I'm being honest with myself, I could definitely see the next movie being very similar at certain points to The Empire Strikes Back, because again, The Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, is probably the best Star Wars film to date. Just that's the first step. Like, it's the best movie of the Star Wars franchise. So if you can try and encapsulate some of that success, you should probably try. But again, there are similarities that are coming up that could very easily make Episode 8 into another Episode 5. One of those being that our main protagonist is unaware of their parentage. Rey. We don't know Rey's family. We don't know who left her there on Jakku. But she has a crazy, crazy good power with the Force. Far more than Luke did when he was her age. Easily. Luke might become like the... if we're going by the old expanded universe, which doesn't exist anymore, so why would we? But whatever. Luke becomes essentially like one of the strongest people with the Force in the universe. Like, he becomes one of the actual strongest beings in existence. Over the course of years, he doesn't just start strong. He started pretty weak. Like, he could barely sense the little laser blasters coming at him. He, I mean, in Empire Strikes Back, I mean, it takes like 3 minutes of screen time for him to force pull his lightsaber when he's in the freaking ice cave. Now, don't be wrong. Part of this is probably very blatantly because the animation and CGI and special effects from the time when the prequels came out, or the original series came out, just wasn't good enough to do what they wanted to do and make it look good. But they could really capture the struggle. They could make it look like it was something super hard to do, even though he was supposed to be very powerful. So they did that instead. Like, I honestly feel that's a big part of why the Force seems so kind of cartoony in the original series. Like, oh, it takes him like 3 minutes to summon up the power to force pull his lightsaber to his hand. And I'm like, yeah, but, I mean, they really couldn't just, you know, fly it to his hand in CG. They just couldn't, right? So it stands the reason that when you have the technology to make something look better, you're going to use it more often. Like, people will say Jaws is probably one of the best films of all time. Let's keep going with movies and films. Like, if you can't tell, I like this conversation that I'm having with myself and no one else. Jaws is probably reported as being one of the best films of all time, which is okay. Jaws is good. Jaws probably wouldn't have been as good if it was to come out now, because I think it was Spielberg who did Jaws, right? Because he flat out came out and said that if the mechanics behind the shark were more reliable and the practical shark they built would work more, he would have that shark in almost every shot of that film if he could. But the reason Jaws is so good is because it's the the suspense thriller of never knowing when the shark is really going to show up, right? But we're talking about a guy who just flat out is like, oh yeah, no, I definitely would totally have had this in just every shot if I could have. And it's like, do you not understand what was good about the movie? Like, the reason people loved it was because that you didn't, and the suspense of knowing the shark was out there but not having it on screen. Like, if that movie came out today, it could easily have just sucked, because he would have this huge stupid looking CGI shark everywheres all the time, right? Like, practical effects are great because they make you work with real life mechanics. And a lot of directors are just like, yeah, but I mean, if I didn't have to do that,
Reinforcements.
I would definitely not.
All the way in.
And I'm just like, what? Come on now. Let's not say you would ruin your own movie because shark. It's just a little heartbreaking to think that if he could, they would. Like, I'm sure the, this is another one of my favorite movies. Jaws isn't. I'm not a big Jaws fan at all, actually. But I recognize the reason people enjoy it and the fact that it is a very popular movie. One of my favorite movies of all time is Jurassic Park. I still watch Jurassic Park, like, every month, at least once, just because I love watching it. The practical effects in Jurassic Park blow my mind every time I see them. Like, that mechanical T-Rex, the freaking raptor suits, they're awesome. They are awe-inspiring. It's literally the proper definition of awesome, where it's just like, oh, man, what I wouldn't have give to have been on that set watching people try to operate this machinery. And that was a thing, right? That was a big problem with Jurassic Park, was the mechanical T-Rex kept breaking down. Like, it once broke down with someone inside of it, and they had to, like, wiggle their way through its body to get out. And it was actually really dangerous and kind of scary, because they didn't know at any point if it was just going to frickin', like, crush him at some point in between two parts or something. Right? Like, and it would just randomly move. Like, the electronics would just sort of stutter. So sometimes when the freaking, I believe, like, the T-Rex was just off, it would randomly just, like, give, like, a jerking motion and freak people out. Practical effects like that are awesome. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Jurassic World. The CG is really good, but I mean, I don't think you could ever replace a good, hard, practical effect with CG and make it look as believable. Because there's always something about the CG that sort of like just completely breaks the illusion, in my opinion. It's just always something.
Or they think they are.
Always something breaks the illusion, which is really disheartening, because it's like, will we never get to the point where we can have CG that doesn't cause an interference with the movie? I don't know. We're getting close. Like, CG is getting hyper realistic, which is good and bad for multiple reasons. But, like, in terms of movies, it's just gonna be like, at what point do we stop needing actors because we can just CG everything? Even the voices. When are we going to get to the point where we can computer generate the voice to the point where we don't need actors? Right? Like, that's going to be silly, but I mean, we already have dead actors making appearances in movies. Like, that is a thing that happens. They go through the life of the actor and edit parts of his life to make him say things that he's never said, and then they create a CG version of him to say the things. Right? Like, Does anyone else think that's hella weird? Or is that just me? No, we gotta go this way. No, we messed up. We gotta start here. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm a huge fan of practical effects in movies. I would sooner see a movie be very camp and silly using practical effects than just see someone just go over the top with CG. Personally, I'd love to direct and write. I've been playing with the idea of doing some small indie film, but like I have this premise that I think is really stupid, and I think it's really stupid because it's really stupid. And the whole reason behind the premise is to mask the fact that I really don't have a budget for a movie. But we'll see.
Shall we have a look around?
I would need to write the script, and I very rarely write like a script. It's not something I do. Oh, what's this? Oh, a bottle of Thetis. This is good though. We needed these mushrooms to upgrade a potion, if I'm not mistaken. We were very out. And this is where the wyvern is we need to kill for that botanist lady. Big bad level 11 wyvern. I don't know, wyverns get away with being immune to freaking electricity for no reason, but alright. Die. But yeah, I'm just a sucker for practical effects. They make me happy. Good practical effects. Don't get me wrong. If I'm not gonna enjoy just sitting there seeing like a really awful practical effect and just be like, yeah, this is shit. But at the same time, you sort of have to view a practical effect with sort of like a different light. Like if it keeps you in the movie and you're like, oh wow, that was practical, then holy shit, you've done it. Like Jurassic Park's practical effects, in my opinion, still hold up to today. Some people disagree with me. Some people don't like it because they find the graphics dated. Of course, in some parts, it's probably my own nostalgia because I loved the movie as a kid. I wanted to be a paleontologist as a kid. Dinosaurs were my life. So I understand that my opinion of Jurassic Park is skewed by bias. I'm totally okay with that. And as long as I admit it, I'm aware of it. Like, people are aware that I am biased and that
I assume you were
I am not coming from someone who's been to like film school or anything. Like, I have an arts degree, but I mean, it's in literature, it's not in film.
You can have it.
Oh, I will. And I'll be sure to entertain your requests for orphan salve or whatever you're championing on the day.
You all think no one can touch you, but I say a kind word to a butler, and I'm in your vault. Because he hates you.
And I'll fill it just to watch you scurry from the gutter, again and again and again. Big vault, little elf.
Yes, well, everyone says you're fat.
Ha! I'm sorry, I just was listening to the girls talk. But yeah, I don't know. We went into some weird tangents today. But I've just gotten very tired of having to defend The Force Awakens. I don't see what problems people have with it. As someone who loved the original series a bunch, like the first like, one of the first movies I remember watching in my life was my dad's Laserdisc of The Empire Strikes Back. Like, that's what we're talking like here. It's not even like, oh, well, you know, I remember watching it on DVD in a master's collection when I was 22 or 20 or 18 or some shit. It's like, yeah, I remember being 6 and having to stop the movie halfway through to take out the massive, like, vinyl-sized disc and flip it over. I always found it interesting that we had a Laserdisc machine. It's literally the only Laserdisc machine I've ever seen.
Your worship. I found... Oh, hi. I must inform Sister Nightingale we have a traitor.
That's true. Like, I mean, it's just flat out true. I don't think I've ever seen... Caliban is good. Walking Death is good. That's good. Everything else can be sold. I don't think I ever recall seeing... Huh. I'm just thinking. I don't recall ever seeing another Laserdisc player. Did I just sell an Amulet of Power? Yeah, I did. Thank you. But yeah, no, for some reason, like, I was born after the point where the Laserdiscs were relevant. But I'm also a huge, like, movie nerd, like, if you haven't noticed, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff I just like thinking about, and I love that old stuff. But at the same time, I just never saw another group that had one. Like, I never went to a friend's house, and they're like, hey, we have war games on Laserdisc. You want to just frickin' get hit with the nostalgia hammer? It's always like... Yeah, no, it was just us. I don't recall any of my friends ever having a Laserdisc player, or their parents. At least not one that they had around when I was born. We had a lot of Laserdiscs, and they were pretty fun. We have all the old, like, James Bond movies on Laserdisc, like Thunderballer, Moonraker, fucking Octopussy, I think it was called. We have all of those on Laserdisc. We had War Games on Laserdisc with Matthew Broderick. Loved War Games as a kid. Like, this was my childhood. War Games, we had... War Games... I don't think we had any of the Indiana Jones on Laserdisc. We had Star Wars Episode 5. That was the first one I ever watched. And I think we had Return of the Jedi. We had another... I'm trying to think of it. There was War Games. I think it might have been like Project X. I think we might have had that on a Laserdisc. It was all about, like, genetic experiments on monkeys that were being launched into space or some shit. It was... I think it was called Project X. That is a big-ass motherfucking spider. But, I remember the Star Wars Laserdisc. I remember War Games was on Laserdisc because just before Matthew Broderick and the girl he was going to bone at the end of that movie, just before they go and find the old man who made the computer, to figure out a way to stop it, was the point where you had to flip the disc over, because, like, laser discs had to be flipped over at a certain point, which, you know, it's comical now when you think of a Blu-ray and how much data is on a Blu-ray. Where the fuck is this going? Does this just open up into the fort? Really? Well, fuck me. Yeah, like, laser discs were fun. Having all the James Bonds on Laserdisc was pretty fucking cool. I assume most of our Laserdiscs right now are probably damaged beyond repair. We don't have a lot of room for storage in the house, and my family, who, this is everyone besides me, by the way, just don't really give a shit about things or what people have or care about. And they basically put all our laser discs, like, in a cardboard box outside in the garage, which is open all year round. Like, when the last time I went out to check the laser discs, the box was so, like, the cardboard box was so wet and moist that it was basically falling apart. So I'm pretty sure all of our laser discs are just fucking ruined, which is heartbreaking, but Jesus, they're heavy. Like, I was trying to take pictures to show my friend, who's a huge James Bond nerd. Like, he's a huge James Bond buff. They were his kid movies. Like, while I was watching Jurassic Park, Star Wars, he was watching James Bond. Which is cool. I like James Bond, as you can tell by the fact that I had all of the old James Bonds on Laserdisc. Those Laserdiscs are heavy, man. Like, when they're in stacks, they'll easily, like, fall and hit your fingers, and they will fucking hurt. Like, they will hurt hard if you get your finger between two of them or so, and they fucking fall. But, yeah, I wish I could find our Laserdisc player. I don't even know if it made the move with us, because we moved provinces back fucking in 2000, spring of 2000. I moved when I was 10. I moved from one province to another in Canada here, and I don't recall us ever having the Laserdisc set up at this house, which rather sadly means it probably didn't make the move. And even if it did, the odds of me finding the cords to make it work are nil. I mean, I would need to get really, really lucky. Not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying it'd be pretty low chances. Which, yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking when you think about how old and classic those are. I bet those Laserdiscs are probably worth a pretty penny too if they're not broken. And guess what? Even with them being broken, I bet they're probably still worth a pretty penny just to a collector to have them for the cases. Because the cases are all like in mint. I'm sure the vinyl inside the cases got fucking like warped or some shit beyond use. But I mean, I don't know if those things are like sealed in some way, they might have lasted. I just honestly don't think it's the case. We need to go to that because that's the last Austerium, and I'm pretty sure this opens a cave back in the underwater area. Like, that's where the treasure cave is on this one. It's down in the Dwarven ruins, but we'll find out. To talk about Dragon Age for the first time in this video, where I've been on a rant about why people should enjoy The Force Awakens, and how people who are fucking transphobic and homophobic can go fuck themselves. Today was a really weird video for me. It was a very odd stream. Killed a dragon, went on a big rant. I mean, I don't hate it. A rant's a good thing. It helps me get my thoughts out. I should look up and see how much those Bond... If I can find anyone who's selling those sort of Bond Laserdiscs. See how much they go for. Jesus, who are you fighting? Nuke the lizard. Jesus, come on, guys. Be better than that. Thank you. It could be interesting. They could be worth a lot of money, even if they don't work. The problem is I have no way of testing them to work, because again, I have no idea where the Laserdisc player is. Half of my friends didn't even know what a Laserdisc was. I had to explain to them, like, how it worked and how you had to take, like, the disc out halfway through and flip it over. And how you had to, like, put, like, the mouth of the case into the machine, and then it would pull out the Laserdisc, and then you'd take out the thing. Fucking, I remember all of that. Where do we need to start here? I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, we got this. Hey, it's an out. No, it's fucking the other way. I lied. Where's the cave? Oh, it's right here. Oh, well, shit. Let's go do that. I think we've almost done everything in Crestwood. Yep. Well, sort of. Let's not get carried away. The quests we did here today in Crestwood, have basically created a bunch of new operations to do. Like we discovered the fact that the mayor of this place, flooded the place that was flooded, like the fucking area we were just in. He was the one who flooded that and killed everyone in there. Because the blight was approaching from that and people were getting infected. I killed a bunch of dragons. Basically, son of a bitch, are you serious? What was I just saying? Fuck. I don't know. I'm sorry. I might never finish that tangent. Claim. Awesome. Only one landmark left. I'm not sure where it is. And I haven't taken that Inquisitor perk to put those sort of locations on the map. Because I normally just find them from exploring, right? So, I mean, what's the point in spending a perk on that when I can spend the perk on something a little bit more important? Hey, buddy. Get frozen. Maybe I'll go inside and see if I can find that box today. It seems to be pretty cool out. We've been like in dreary overcast
Look at this. I got something
for a while.
Darling, it's your bottom again. As bony and sad as it was the last dozen times you displayed it.
It's my butt.
Maker, however shall I endure this horror? Someone fetch me a fainting couch.
No, I found the last region in here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I remember this place. Sweet. Alright, if I could get around that rock. Thank you. Ooh, let's pick up that obsidian. Then loot. Loot this out of level garbage. Ah, well, no, never mind. That item's fine. I will never wear it as all the fire dragons are dead. But it's probably going to sell for about 2.3k maybe? That's what I'm going to put my money on. 2.3k. I could be wrong, but that's where we're going to put our money. I think the stream has probably been going for a good 2 hours maybe. So we're probably going to end it in a bit. But you guys can probably stick around while I do a little management shit in Skyhold if you want. You're more than welcome to. I think every quest here is done. Crestwood. Yeah, that's just a requisition. Don't give a fuck. Quest map. Nope. Quest map. Thank you. Skyhold. Let's go. Yeah, today was filled with very odd rants. But, yeah. I definitely appreciate The Force Awakens. It's a fun movie. I'll probably watch it once a week as long as it stays on Netflix. Maybe even twice a week. Who knows? I'm a sucker for rewatching things I enjoy, and I really enjoy it. Anytime, some of the practical sets in that movie are just super cool. Some ice cold OJ, yo. No, someone I follow online just fucking reblogged a bunch of photo sets from Matilda. How topical. I think we need to actually talk to Cullen. I believe. Because I think while I was building focus to fight the dragon this over the weekend, while I was getting ready to start this stream, basically, I did some of the little fucking Samson quests. Yep.
I've been reading the letters found in the quarry. Samson is making red lyrium from people?
Oh shit, the phone's ringing.
Not in that mine.
I knew Samson had fallen, but this... It's
Oh
monstrous.
my god, I'm
We
the only
have
one in
to
the
put an
house,
end to
and
it.
it's just a telemarketer. I'm just gonna let it ring.
That armor must give Samson extraordinary power. We may not be able to stop him.
Yes, we will.
Samson's a menace. If we can't defeat him, no one stands a chance.
Then we must destroy the armor. I couldn't say how. Templars are trained not to destroy expensive magical equipment. Perhaps Dagna has some ideas. She crafts the...
I like Dagna. I'll talk to Dagna for days, man. Yeah. No fall damage. It's a thing of beauty. So... Alright, yeah. I was wrong. I thought it would be like 2.2, or did I say 2.5? Either way, it was 2.1. My legs are just a mess from all the fucking mosquitoes out. We, Saturday I was over at a friend's and we were doing like some evening barbecue and swims at his parents' pool. And I got eaten alive then. And then last night, they're like, hey, we're gonna go out to the fucking swampland again and fucking catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go. And I'm like, yay, I'm not gonna get eaten alive for sure. Nope. Like, all over my legs and my, like, toes. Let's judge someone. It looks like I have someone to judge. Oh, I have a new email.
Mistress Pulin of Sarnia is accused of aiding and abetting the Red Templars in the Dales. She sold a quarry to them for a handsome sum. They used the quarry to grow red lyrium by enslaving townspeople. The only extenuating circumstance, Mistress Pulin was procuring supplies to keep the remaining townspeople fed.
If you'd like to explain your intentions, speak.
My crime was misjudgment. The land sale was meant to bring prosperity in hard times.
Surely it was clear you were selling to the enemy.
We were starving, and they told me they'd reopen the mines. Selling the quarry so hastily was a mistake. I did what I could to rectify it.
I can't let you go free, but I can give you an honest living. Mistress Pulin, I sentence you to work as a scribe of the Inquisition. Half your wages will go to the...
A drudge on this cold rock.
Hey, this is my castle. Go fuck yourself, lady. Can we go back to the murder? I should have just beheaded her. Nice and good. What a day. I'm very glad we killed that level 23 dragon, though. Oh, shit, we have a perk. That's attractive, honestly. The extra 15 slots for my inventory. Reveals additional landmarks. Son of a bitch. All over my body. We can pick up the third tier focus effect. It's probably good. Or 10% increased all defenses. Let's pick up the focus. Boop. Thank you. I've been sending her there to get Blood Lotus, like, all the times.
Crestwood has had no further trouble with the undead.
Good.
After what happened,
One more about
take time
dragons.
for the village to recover. All
36 minutes instead of 50? You bet. Liliana is upset as an agent of the enemy has been lurking within our hordes. Go fetch Josephine. Alright, good. Those operations are fine. The girls will finish theirs a good while before Cullen finishes his, but that's fine. Let's go talk to Dagna. Alrighty. Also, tip my armor. Because we want this to be blue. Because we are Elsa from Frozen. And it just doesn't make sense if we're not blue, yo. There we go. I'll allow it. Dagna, what's up, girl?
Dagna, what have you learned of Samson?
He should be dead. I mean, you could make a hat out of red lyrium and kill people, especially the wearer. Samson's armor is genius. To do all this and not go insane, he must be resistant. Or he is insane. Or both.
You're not comforting me, Dagna. He's dangerous either way.
Oh, fine. I just need time and tools, people, and red lyrium. For tests, you see?
Is that wise?
Everything is safe if handled properly. And you don't touch it long, or breathe it. I mentioned the hat, right? No hat. Time and resources, Inquisitor. I'll get what you want. Now shit.
Alrighty. Did I not pick up some sort of shiznit? No, I did not. Keep your robe, 269. 269? What the fuck am I wearing? 225, holy shit! We can totally make me a pimp ass seer cow, or fucking, Jesus, keeper robes, and a dragon. 269. Plus 21 magic. Plus 12 magic defense. Eight range defense. Oh, man, I wish I had some Essence of Perfection. Plus 30% focus gain. Ooh. Ooh. That's actually real good.
I chop things with my hand on my channel.
I'm sorry? I didn't quite catch that. Yeah, look at that. That's way better. Which means we can go to Vivienne, Madame de Fleur, and shove this on her dick. Now does the Seer Cowl have slots? Because if it has, or the Keeper, it does not. Fuck. See, that's obnoxious, because I really like getting that little boost. that's pretty. Alrighty. That looks a little bit better. And we're in a van. We don't have. We still don't have enough Blood Lotus. God damn it. Vandal Aria. We can make these. We might actually be able to do that here in a bit. Let's go to the garden. Whoop. Oh boy. I'm hungry. I woke up this morning and just had myself a little bowl of yogurt. It was not enough. I'm a big man. Awesome. So let me just check here. 13,000 gold. God damn it. Tier 3 shields, dual blade, staff blade. Meh. Alright, I think that's about it for now. I'm pretty sure no one else is giving me any quests. We can't do the code thing till we do the operation. And I don't have anything else to sell, so yeah. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. It's been a good, 2.5 hour stream, maybe. I'm gonna hop off. I might be doing some recording later today. In the afternoon here after I eat, on my PC upstairs, my new desktop. I'm just gonna fiddle around with Fraps a bit, see how it works and how it looks. I do want to thank everyone for coming out today and joining us for the stream. Please be sure to hit the like button. It means a great deal to me just for you to do that one little click. Subscribe if you want to get notifications of my daily PlayStation streams. And thank you. Have yourself a great day, and please continue looking forward for more content from me. And, be safe while you're out there catching Pokemon, folk.